Okay, so getting back into our coverage over Destiny of X, we do pick up with X-Men number 23, where we do pick up with two characters, Dr. Stasis and also Mother Righteous. Now remember, Dr. Stasis is one of the three clones that was technically made based off the original Nathaniel Essex. He made 4 clones, 3 of himself and 1 after his late wife Rebecca. And of course, the one female clone would be Mother Righteous. Now, when it came to the 4 clones, they each had one job to do. Really, they all had the same job, which was make sure to find a way to protect the Earth from being taken over by machines, except each clone tried to find different ways to achieve that goal. Now, when it comes to Dr. Stasis, remember that he had joined Orchids. Orchids, of course, is a brand new group in X-Men comics, and they have been trying to bring down the mutant race ever since the dawn of X. Now, when it comes to Mother Righteous, she's trying to get into Orchids and trying to control it. Now, something else to mention is that when it comes to Dr. Stasis, he really does believe that he is the original Nathaniel Essex, not realizing that he is one of the 4 clones that Nathaniel had made back in the 1800s. And so when it comes to Dr. Stasis, he really does believe that he's the one who made the other clones, that he's the one who made Mother Righteous, even though it has been proven to us that's not the case. Either way, when it comes to Mother Righteous, she tells him, no, you are not the original Nathaniel. You are a clone just like me, except I'm a clone after Rebecca, his late wife. The other 2 are just like you, after Nathaniel Essex. Either way, he made us to kind of make sure he ends up winning at the tail end of everything. And that's the thing. I'm tired of playing his game, and I'm tired of playing your games as well. And so this is Mother Righteous saying that she's tired doing what she was originally programmed to do. Now it's her going on her own path. And what she wants to do is take over Orchids. Now, we do have to jump over to New York, matter of fact, the Bronx, where we actually pick up with some firefighters trying to put out a fire. Unfortunately, they're having a hard time doing that. Now, while they're trying to put out this fire, well, that is when you have a Stark Sentinel appear. Now, guys, remember, when it comes to Marvel's timeline, this is not the first time we've seen a Stark Sentinel. Matter of fact, we saw it in the early 2010s in Marvel Comics, but this is the Mark II, the second version of Stark Sentinels that was technically made by, you could say, Tony Stark, but also Kelvin Furlong as well. Now remember, Kelvin Furlong does work alongside with Orchid, but in Iron Man series, he had just bought out Tony Stark's old company, which gave him the ability to kind of go through all the different projects that Tony Stark was working on while having the company. And so one of the things that Tony was seemingly working on was most likely a Sentinel, these new versions of Stark Sentinels. And so Kelvin Furlong had begun the process of sending these out there to kind of show the public that they can help out, but at the same time, they're still assigned to go after mutants. And matter of fact, when it comes to the Stark Sentinel, it thinks that one of the firefighters is actually a mutant. And so it begins to attack this random person. Now, the X-Men do arrive, except when the X-Men arrive, they believe they should be able to handle this new kind of Sentinel. But that's the problem. They're kind of being a little bit overconfident in the idea that they'll be able to handle this new kind of Sentinel. And the reason why they feel like that, because they have fought many different kinds of Sentinels over the years. And almost every single time they have been able to adapt to new kinds of Sentinels. But unfortunately, when it comes to this one, the Stark Sentinel Mark II, there's no way for them to actually adapt, because this one single Sentinel has the ability to wipe out the entire X-Men team right here. Like literally, the entire team is struggling to fight against this one Sentinel. And that's kind of scary, because now you're saying if it comes to Kelvin and the rest of Orchid, they could send in an army more of these and the mutant race could be easily wiped out. Now, here's the thing, because thanks to magic, she was able to use her powers to open up a portal to kind of teleport the robot somewhere else. Except when most of the body goes into the actual hole, she then closed the portal, which of course cuts the robot's head off, and the rest of the body is lost somewhere else in the universe, while the head is the only thing left. But the thing is, they only barely won this battle, and that scares Cyclops, but it also scares Forge and the rest of the X-Men team as well, because now you are possibly saying that there could be more of these out there. But also you have Forge saying, if Kelvin is going around trying to use old projects that Tony Stark has not released or basically stopped working on, and this is just one of them, we should be very worried for the idea of what to come down the road. Now we do pick up with some members of Orchids, where we kind of find out that was part of their plan. They knew the X-Men would not be able to defeat the robots so easily. And so they knew that it would come down to magic. And so with magic teleporting part of the robot away, there was a tracker inside that part of the robot that they are currently tracking. And so they're trying to find different ways to attack different members of the X-Men, starting with magic. Somebody who could give the X-Men the edge if Orchids does not find a way to stop her. Now, they also talk about the idea of going after Jean Grey as well. And you have Nimrod say, leave her to me. Matter of fact, leave all the Omega mutants to me, including Jean Grey as well. Now, the last section of the book does two things. The first is that it's reminding us that currently the Kingpin is staying on Krakoa. And the reason why, because his wife, Typhoid Mary, is also a mutant, and so she was allowed to stay on Krakoa. But because she got married to Kingpin, it gave him also the ability to stay on Krakoa as well, which honestly is just messed up. Either way, once you have the Kingpin walk away after being warned by Emma Frost to not play around on the island, she's then confronted by Cyclops. Now, when it comes to Cyclops, at first, he's coming to her thinking that Emma Frost called because she heard that Cyclops and Jean Grey are technically at odds with one another. They've been somewhat broken up. But Emma Frost says, no, that's not the reason why I called you over here for. The reason why I called you over is because I want to inform you that Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, has been killed off. She died. And I want you to know because you were very close to her. And so for Cyclops, it's kind of hard to hear that somebody he was close to is now dead. And so with that being said, this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.